The first 100,000 is but you gotta do it. I don't care what you have to do. If it means walking everywhere and not eating anything that wasn't purchased with a coupon, find a way to get your hands on 100,000. After that, you can ease off the gas a little bit. This is a statement coming from the legendary value investor Charlie Munger. Now, if you apply this in the Philippines, for me the hardest is the first million pesos, and the next million would come a lot easier. Before you know it, you already have 2 million, 3, 4, and 5 million pesos. So why is that? And why is it a lot faster for the second million to come? Well, let's first talk about why it is so hard to reach your first million. First of all, like everything else you want to master, may it be an instrument, playing a sport, or even playing a video game, the start is always the hardest, because that is the time you're just learning the basics. In stocks, you haven't yet mastered the very basics of saving itself. You're still getting used to the thought of taking a portion of your income and putting it aside and never touching it. A lot of us fail to even have this discipline. When they see money left in their wallets or their savings account, they end up spending it when a new sale comes around the corner. The next thing that comes after this is lifestyle inflation. Usually, the best time to start this discipline of saving is right after you get a job or when you're still young and only have yourself as a responsibility. But if you fail to do this, you end up getting stuck in a conveyor belt of lifestyle inflation. Every time your salary goes up, the more you spend. The worst part of it is, not only do you spend more since your credit score gets bigger and bigger as well, but you also take in debt too quickly, buying the things you can't afford in the first place. This alone is what makes the first million the hardest to achieve, because you don't have yet the right mentality. Even though you already have an idea of investing or making a business, or you're earning a 6-digit salary, if there's nothing left, then how can you even get to the part of investing money? You can't even save properly to begin with. I have seen a lot of people that doesn't even have a net worth of 1 million, though they have a huge salary, because they live paycheck to paycheck. They earn to pay their bills. They always say that they don't have enough money to invest, but the reality is, they have a lot. They just don't know how to budget it wisely, because saving and investing is the last of their priority. A lot often take this step for granted. They want to go into investing, analyzing stocks, or learning the vehicle they want to use to grow their money, and just end up stopping midway because they have to pay down their next credit card bill. If you don't have the discipline to put aside money and not let get dragged by lifestyle inflation, then it's sure you wouldn't be able to handle the next one, which is time. The time it takes to save up for the first million is the longest, so midway, you get impatient as you don't feel the process is getting you anywhere. So to start the process, you have to get yourself together. You have to engrave into your mind the right mentality, discipline, and patience. And for me, the best thing to start this is to make saving your #1 priority. I always take into heart what a book The Richest Man in Babylon said. Pay yourself first. This means instead of making saving your last priority when you get your paycheck, you have to make saving the first thing you do. So you have to take a 10 or 10% of your income and put it aside, and the rest, that's what you use for all your expenses. If it's not enough, then you adjust. Take out the unnecessary expenses you barely use. Make coffee at home instead of buying it. Make meal preps instead of dining out every day. You never touch that 10% for savings. As Charlie Munger said, if it means you have to purchase with a coupon, you do it. With this alone of paying yourself first, you force yourself to adjust your life. You're forced to budget, and you also automate your life. Automation is the best way to do this consistently for a long time. By automatically taking 10% off of your income, you won't notice it as time goes by. It's like taxes, so this is the first step you take to start your journey towards that first million. And the second, you have to use the most powerful force in finance, compounding interest. This is also the reason why the next millions would be a lot faster. First of all, if you do the math, if you can save 10,000 pesos a month, it would take you 9 years and 4 months to reach your first million. But with the use of compounding interest, assuming you just get a 5% dividend yield in your portfolio, it would now take you only 8 years to get your first million. So a cut of 16 months, which is a lot. This happens because the term itself, compounding interest, it is interest you earn from interest. If you invest 10,000 a month or 120,000 a year and earn 5% interest, you get 6,000, and that is added to your portfolio. So the next year, you start off with 126,000, and when you save another 120k, 246,000 is the one that will earn interest, getting you 12,300, which is then added again to your portfolio, making it 258,300. The process goes on and on. By doing this for a couple of years, the bigger interest you get. This is where new investors give up quickly. They feel the process is slow at the start because their money hasn't been given enough time to compound. If saving alone takes you 9 years and 4 months, and with compounding cuts it down to 8 years, just wait until we get to the next millions. With savings, you reach your second million in year 18, or just another 9 years and 4 months. But with compounding, you'd be shocked as you get it in just under the 13th year. So it only took you 5 years to get to another million, and the third in the 17th year, less than 4 years, and the fourth million under 3 years. So from 8 years, down to 5 years, down to 4 years and 3 years. And if you continue further, when you reach the 6 million, you get to your next million in under 2 years. That is the power of compounding interest. As you can see here in the chart, it starts off slow, then as it reaches a certain amount, it just snowballs larger and larger to the point that the earned interest is bigger than the money you invest. Now before we continue, yes, we are talking about compounding interest, dividends, and investing, but the big question is, do you know the stocks you're putting your money into? Are you sure it's a strong company that will continue to grow in the future? Well, if you don't know how to analyze companies, then there's a simple solution for you, which is simply Wall Street. They have it all for you here. Financial statements, charts, comparisons, etc. Back then I jumped from website to website just to get all these data, but now it's all here, and it's so clear and easy to understand. They also give you updates on your watch list whenever the company releases its earnings, dividends, when insiders are buying or selling, and when the stock falls below its intrinsic value. Yes, they compute that as well for you, which is very helpful, especially if you don't know how to compute it. So with this watch list, you can stay updated about the companies you hold, and there's more. They also have a portfolio tracker that lets you assess the health of your portfolio, and there's a lot more stuff here that can help you level up your investing journey. So if you want to try it out, they offer their basic plan forever free, and if you do want to avail of their paid plan, then by using my link, you can get up to 40% discount. So what are you waiting for? Try Simply Wall Street. Now back to the video. So to speed up the process, you have to start with these two. You have to have the discipline to pay yourself first and to use the most powerful force in finance, compound interest. The next step, of course, is to know where you will be putting your money. Compounding interest doesn't come free. If you put your money in the wrong place, then you may even end up losing money instead. Or worse, end up having debts. So you have to study the vehicle you will use, no matter what it is, business or investing. Study it first. This is why even though the Philippine market had been stagnant for years now, and some of the companies I hold went down further, I didn't panic because every stock in my portfolio I studied and analyzed myself. I know they are strong companies, have good financials, well-managed debt, and I bought it at a fair price. Unlike a lot of investors who rely solely on news, content creators, or analysts for their investing decisions, by knowing the companies I hold, even if their share price drops, I don't panic, as I know it's a strong company and I'd even buy more of it. This is how I was able to grow my dividend portfolio while the market was still down big, and I combined the things I said a while ago. I put investing as a top priority. I invest as much money as I can, and my goal is to be able to retire off of my dividends before I reach 40 years old. I reinvested every dividend and capital gains I got, and this helped me grow my portfolio even more. From 161 pesos from the first year up to 122,000 last year, and I just continued this process. As my dividends grow, the compounding effect of it would just increase and increase over the years, and one day surpass the money I'm putting to my portfolio. My investing journey is stress-free as I know very well how the market works and know the companies I hold. That's why it's so important to study first where you will putting your money. So from the right mentality, paying yourself first, using compounding, studying the vehicle you will use, and the last one is to invest in yourself further. All of this has a limit. Budgeting has its limitations, so to speed up the process of compounding, you have to increase your worth. By getting a higher salary makes all of this a lot easier and faster, but be sure to not get caught up by lifestyle inflation. I always tell myself, the more I earn, the more I will invest, the faster I'll retire. With that said, I hope you've learned something from this video, and if it did and still haven't clicked the like button, I'd appreciate it if you do so before leaving. Thank you and see you in the next video.